Hi, class. Let's start the chapter. Okay. This chapter, which is chapter 6, we'll be talking about building a positive relationship through communication. And it's a very important to pay attention to this subject because basically you can go very far by building a positive relationship through communication. So it's basically you need to be courteous, pleasant, ethical behaviors is a part of being a professionals. And especially if you deal on a daily basis with customers. Now, the learning objective of this chapter is we want to learn to use the you viewpoint to build a goodwill. Use a conversational style that has an appropriate level of formalities and eliminate the rubber stamps. Describe why they could be to be courteous beyond using the polite expressions and employ positive language to achieve a goodwill and other desired effects. We're also going to learn use the three major techniques for emphasizing the positive and de-emphasizing the negative. We will be trying to learn how to avoid the unethical communication practice and cultivate the personal qualities that promote ethical behavior. We will use some professional codes of conduct and establish approaches to ethical reasoning to help you make ethical decision. Excuse me. The first step, we need to show consideration. Showing consideration for your audience goes beyond simple conventions of courteous or courtesies. Considerations means that you're paying attention, thinking of the situation, and explain whether in the sympathize or empathize level. Consideration means you're taking all the details, paying a good attention to how you help the others and to do it. Now, the issue is a very important. It is you a viewpoint. It's really the first step toward creating a goodwill with your communication partners is to put yourself in their shoes. In other words, it means you being them or he or she. How would you react? So you need to do places the reader at your center of message. Often emphasize you and your rather than I, we, and our. You need to focus on the reader's needs and concerns, not your needs and concerns. And you need to emphasize on the reader's benefits. Now, this is an example of how you can change we to you. So here we say, for example, we're happy to have your order for HP or Hewlett Packard's product, which we are sending today by UPS. Now, this is so much we about we, but you can make it you. So your Hewlett Packard printer will be shipped by UPS today and should reach you by noon tomorrow. So you notice here, you send the same message, but here you give the other side more ownership, more toward you. Uh, Last example says, our policy prohibits us from permitting outside groups to use our facility except on a cash rental base. Here you can switch it to you. Our policies of renting our facilities to outside group ensure that our full range of services will be available to your guests. So you give him a feeling or her a feeling that she is in charge of these and can have other people's also. The other thing that you need to cut is cut the rubber stamps. Sometimes you need to send in, respond in an email or something just to confirm that you received an email or give some positive. But most of the time might be only a rubber stamp. So see here, what's wrong with these phrases? Like, I'm happy to be able to answer your message. That's so what? We're pleased to announce. Thank for your time. Please let me know if you have any question. I use this in the class, but we can say, change this standard saying, we're open for your suggestions. Please let me know what's the next step we can take, or let me know if you're seeking more information. There is other things, what you can, what could you say instead? Courteous language, no blaming, first of all, no finger pointing. And probably um, rewrite, you looking at this, you can rewrite these without blaming people. So let's practice on it. For example, the disagree of the direction is what the damage the product. These could be a very business bold, but the business does not have to be bold. So you can really rewrite them without pointing fingers. Now, the other thing that you need to look at it is the courteous language. Don't talk down to people. Don't talk like you're the parents. Don't talk that you know more. Don't tell the reader what they already know. Don't tell the reader how they feel. Example, you will be happy to know. Um, you don't need to tell me you will be happy. Maybe I'm not going to be happy to know that, or I don't care. Take the role of the adult, not the parents. See the communication matters, feature titles. Maybe you can see, online the parent, child, or adult. So there's a different conversation. You can speak with people without sound like a parenting or somebody that you know and they don't know, like it talking down to people. Be respectful, go an extra mile, uh, try to practice the cell phone courtesy and be clear, use texting appropriately, try to, if you cannot express your emotion well, use the icons or whatever that makes it more understand what kind of a language you're there trying to present. Supply information and additional resources. The worst thing you can do, send uh, um, half informational, no information, a little bit, assuming the other side knows everything about you. And then acknowledge special achievement or occasion. People like to be acknowledged about their achievement or special occasions. Accentuate the positive. When you handle a sensitive situation in person, you can use the body language and the tone of a voice that helps to convey the goodwill. When you're writing, you cannot do that. This makes it careful, makes it very difficult, and you need to put a careful attention in choosing the words that you can, especially important. So you might want to definitely use a positive words, focus on what we can do, um, manage emphasis for a positive effect, and consider the ethics of positive emphasis. Be positive. Make it positive. For example, how would you use this positive language to revise the statement? Uh, don't walk on grass, for example. We regret to inform you that your flight has been canceled. Absolutely no outside food and drink allowed. Um, we can talk about the cat who went on the roof also as an example. So positive positioning is first, basically, you need to place the positive points here at the beginning and at the end of the whole message, paragraph or sentence. So it feels like it's all, although there is some negative messages being sent, is sugar coated. Decrease the impact of negative points by placing them in the subordinate clauses and minimize the negative footprint like this using explaining and cushioning language for soften the negative messages. I'm afraid you probably will not be qualified if you, that's how you write the thing. And the beginning and the end of the sentence. Now, that's a big question. Communicating ethically. First of all, you need to be honest. People can feel if you're not honest. Choose the wording that doesn't sound discriminatory. For the, you will be surprised to see how people can read in your tone, your hand gestures, your bodies, the words that you're using to see whether you're you've done a discriminations approach or not. Avoid common unethical communication practice. Um, there's lots of examples, we can talk about them. Cultivate the ethical behavior and consider the ethical reasoning. Now, one of the easiest logical approach is by considering the ethical behaviors. Well, definitely you might not be discriminating, but you might sound a discriminator if you are not worried about that. First, you want to avoid the words that's stereotyped by probably race, genders, nationalities, sexual orientation, want to avoid age or any disabilities. In today's diverse workplace, mutual respect between genders and across generation is the key. So things that these questions usually, if you comes up in the CV, in the job application, you notice they are optional and indirectly asked. So here's an example. We can look at it. How can you revise these sentences to make them gender neutral? We'll look at each one and see how we can do and revise them. Qualitative to cultivate. Integrity, courage, and inner strength are three of the top 7 steps treat recruiters to look for potential employees. according to undercover recruiters. So integrity, courage, and inner strength. There's one thing I always said it says if somebody lies to you and you don't react or you believe it's a lie, that's okay. Um, but if he lies to you and you just do it on purpose to lie back to him, then that does not make him a liar. He's already a liar. That makes you a liar also. So we want to make sure you don't copycat of behavior of the people because you're going to be, if it's bad, you're going to be the second bad thing. After not even the first bad thing, you're the second of the bad. So you're copycatting the bad stuff. So you want to make sure that you don't just because everybody cheat or everybody steals or everybody lies. That's something is not true everybody. Um, so we want to make sure that you stay ethical and you stay, have a high integrity, courage, and you get a strong inner strength. People in general, even the bad ones, appreciate these stuff in you. Here is an ethical challenge, and you make the call. What would you do in this situation? Would you speak up? How would you handle it? You are sitting in the break room and with the coworkers, and they begin to criticizing another coworker unfairly. What would you do? Now, in the last, there is something I like to read it for you. It says, write as though you were addressing intelligent people you understand and respect. Don't patronize them, but don't talk over their heads. This is keeping something in your mind. Thank you very much. We'll continue.